وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين.
3 parts in this journey. Each part of this journey is unique. The first part, فَانْطَلَقَا, they start walking. Is Yusha with them? No. فَانْطَلَقَا, who's there now? The student knows when to separate now. It's like, in fact, I'm sitting with my teacher, and now my teacher tells me to come. My student knows that now, that's for them. Right? This is what's happening. فَانْطَلَقَا, because whose journey is this? Musa or Yusha? And Musa is being taught lessons in this journey, and Allah is showing that the teacher cannot be embarrassed in front of the student. Right? Because Musa is being taught. فَانْطَلَقَا, they start their journey. حَتَّى إِذَا رَكِبَا فِي السَّفِينَةِ, until they mount upon a ship. خَرَقَهَا, he what? We know the famous story that he rips a plank from the ship. قَالَ أَخْرِ, and Musa is Musa. He says, hey, he just said, I won't ask you any question. He said, أَخْرَقْتَهَا, and this is where Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah says that it's a part and parcel of a student's mentality that he will ask questions, or she will ask questions. It's okay. Even though Musa said, I won't ask you, he still what? He still asked. We can't not ask. A shy student can never learn, and an arrogant student can never learn. Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah says, حُسْنُ السُّؤَالِ نِصْفُ الْعِلْمِ, good questions is half of knowledge. Good questions, good. Right? He says, أَأَخْرَقْتَهَا لِتُغْرِقَ أَهْلَهَا. So Razi says, Musa a.s. could have said, did you rip it? And he could have left it to that. Musa a.s. adds this masala. He says, did you rip it so you can drown these people? He didn't need to say that. He could have just said, what? Like, why'd you rip it for? When someone does something and you want to be somewhat confrontational, you actually give them the did you do that because you don't like me? You could have just said, why did you do it for? So Musa a.s. like, oh no. Did you do it so you can drown these people? لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا إِمْرًا. This is something very strange. Amra is a matter. Imra is a strange matter. The haraka changes, the meaning changes. So if we say لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا أَمْرًا, it means that you have done something. Imra means you have done something very strange. Khidr doesn't give him the answer. He just reminds him about his initial condition. قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Did I not inform you that you will not be able to stay with me and be patient enough? قَالَ لَا تُؤَخِذْنِي بِمَا نَسِيتَ. This is also unique. Alusi says, there's so much discussions on this passage. Alusi says, what happened to Musa's student happened to Musa. Right? That's what happened. Whatever your teacher does, you end up also having some of those qualities. He said, لَا تُؤَخِذْنِي بِمَا نَسِيتُ. If you forget, it's forgiven. وَلَا تُرْهِقْنِي مِنْ أَمْرِي عُسْرًا. He says, do not blame me for that which I have forgotten, and do not cover me in a matter with difficulty. Meaning, don't be too stern on me. Just let me go. Usra means what? Difficulty. Yusr is ease, usr is difficulty. فَانْطَلَقَا, they continued. Khidr didn't have a long conversation. Oh, okay, let me think about it. Khalas, continue, right? The example of our prophets in the Sahabas is when someone would make a mistake, if they were to forgive him, they wouldn't keep reminding them of it. It's done. It's gone and dusted, right? They continued their journey. حَتَّى إِذَا لَقِيَ غُلَامًا, until they met a youngster. Ghulaman means someone under the age of 12. Some say under the age of 7. Youngster. فَقَتَلَهُ, and he what? This is probably one of the more difficult ones to understand. فَقَتَلَ, and he killed him. 2 minutes left till Adhan. قَالَ أَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا زَكِيَّةً بِغَيْرِ نَفْسٍ. Did you kill someone without the right of him being killed? Meaning that nafsan bighayri nafs means that he didn't kill anyone else. So a life for a life, right? Like, you killed him just like that. And tafsir, it says like Khidr was pretty what's the right word? He was pretty straightforward. Like they say he was playing with, this kid was playing with other kids, and he came up to him and he took him to the side and he killed him. And Musa's watching, wow, this guy's my teacher? Like, dude, I'm gonna kill you. How would you kill this kid? لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. Nukra is one step above imra. You did something which was despicable. Nukra, inkar. Inkar means to, inkar in Arabic means, even Urdu, inkar means to deny something. Munkar, like I deny this. You did something which is so despicable. kalam about the actual situation or the discussion of why Khidr took this child, right, or his life. We believe in this idea of qadr, but we also believe in the idea that qadr can be changed to a certain extent, and we'll learn about this in Aqidah classes. So it has been said that this child was to grow older. So whatever Allah does, He does it for the betterment of that family, that individual, and that community. So if this child was to grow older, he would have left Islam. This is why the Prophet in Hadith says, and other mufassirun or muhaddithun speak about this in their discussion, that if a child passes away before the age of puberty, what happens to them? So one opinion is that they go straight to Jannah. The other opinion is they go to a place called A'raf, where they're in between. Right? The other opinion is that they become servants in Jannah. But they're still in Jannah, but they don't go to Jahannam because they were not at the age of what? Being questioned. They're not mas'uliyah. So in this discussion, Allah is showing, this is why this, as difficult as it may be to understand this discussion, if a person experiences death early in their family, this process or this story is the best story. This is the best story for a person that has experienced trauma or loss of a loved one at a young age. For me and us, this was a very powerful story to connect to, because it explains to you that there is always a wisdom of someone dying early. Like if Khidr was to take the life of this kid early, and the reason for it was because if he was to grow older, he would have become disobedient, and his parents, what happens to parents when the child what? Trails off. It affects him in so many ways. Some of them lose faith in Islam. Like, how can it be that I pray salat my entire life and my daughter or my son don't go to the masjid, and my daughter and my son have become atheists? Na'udhu billah. Even the parents can lose trust in Islam. So it was said that when this child was to grow older, it was written out that he would have left Islam, and he would have been a cause of his parents leaving Islam. So Allah took his life early. This is already written for him. The how is not important. The idea that his life was taken early was already written. How is not important, right? It doesn't make a difference because Allah had already written it for him. So when, for example, my brother rahimahullah left at the age of 22, like we could easily console ourselves by saying that what if he was to grow older and he would not have been as great, right? And I can tell you for a fact that he left at a time where every single person that was around him had the most love for him. If he left a few years earlier, there were differences. We don't know if he was to leave a few years later, if he was still to be the obedient son that he was to my mother. We don't know. What if he grew older and maybe, he decided that he's going to do his own thing. And I'm not going to take care of my mother anymore. I'm not going to listen to my brothers anymore. It could have happened. Right? So Allah took his life at a point that every single person that was around him was the happiest with him. Right? And this is what this refers to. That the timing is always right.